my last video breaking down Jets vs. Dolphins film, particularly the penalties in it, I saw a comment, and I want to blur the identity because I don't really want it to be about the person, just about their interpretation. Although my channel is so small, you could probably figure it out yourself. Just probably no one's going to yell at this guy. He said, "Come on, be real. Jets fans know how to cry, that's for sure. Let's use your last example. That was not a hit out of bounds and should not be called. Yet, you break down every step. Justin Fields is a running quarterback and he's going to get hit. You are not afforded the same protection once you leave the pocket." Funny how the head coach says nothing. First of all, the head coach did say something.
There's always calls that we look at that we want to bring to the league and get clarification on. But here's what I do know. Man, you have to earn the right to get a lot of these calls. And we just have to continue playing. There's a number of calls in that game I felt that didn't go our way, that I felt we should have gotten. And, I could easily go through those, but I'm not.
The play in question, let's pull it up. To recap what my point on this was, how you gonna not throw the flag on this, but you are going to throw the flag on the hit on Tua? Because the hit on Tua, it wasn't blatant, it was a glancing blow. Did not seem like targeting to me. Although, we could have done better. We could have just hopped over Tua instead of trying to fall over him and risk touching him and leaving it open to interpretation. So it was cool. I want Tua to be protected, but how you gonna call that and not this? Going back to what the guy said, he said that was not a hit out of bounds and should not be called. You are a ball carrier once you leave the pocket. Like, I never mentioned nothing about that. Like, you can't be treated like a ball carrier now. Like, no, like any ball carrier getting hit out of bounds. That's the nature of being hit out of bounds. And my point on him being a quarterback is, if you want to protect this quarterback, why not protect the other quarterback within the framework of the rules? That doesn't matter whether you're QB or not. It's just about getting hit out of bounds. So he said I broke down every step, so I should know better, basically. Well, I'm on the goddamn rule book. Operations.nfl.com. They got the NFL rule book. If you go to Rule 12, player conduct, go to Section 2, personal fouls, come down to Article 8, forcibly contacting a runner when he is out of bounds. This is exactly my point. This is exactly what I said the first time in the last video. A D player must make an effort to avoid contact. Cool. Players on defense are responsible for knowing when a runner has crossed the boundary line, except in doubtful cases where he might step on a boundary line and continue parallel with it. Additionally, if you look at line F under Article 8 on unnecessary roughness, throwing the runner to the ground after the ball is dead. This is what makes a gray area. The guy initiated the tackle when Justin Fields still had 1 foot length in bounds, and refs would like to let you finish the tackle. But if you do extra shit when you're out of bounds, if you're not just finishing the tackle, that's when they might throw the flag. And at the very end, a ref may or may not interpret the defender to have thrown the runner to the ground after the ball is dead. Now, the ball was dead when he went out of bounds. When he took that first step out of bounds, the ball is dead, whistles blew. So this, once again, makes it gray area. It's up to the interpretation of the officiating crew. Listen, if one officiating crew gonna throw the flag and another one isn't, that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna trip on that. It's when the same officiating crew calls a gray area penalty for one team but not the other. That's when I'm like, hey, it's kind of ridiculous. You do it twice, now I'm saying something. You do it 3 times, now I'm pulling my hair out and I'm making a YouTube video. So the defender did their thing. They initiated the tackle when Justin Fields literally still had 1 foot in bounds. And what you're supposed to try to do, or make it look like you're trying to do, is let up after they're clearly out of bounds. It's going to be really hard if you're that tackler, because the nature of the tackle that he did, he was kind of wrapped around the waist. He was swinging around Justin on the outside. And you could say Justin had nowhere to go except over him and fall back on the back of his head again. So once again, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. That is gray area. You have seen this called, and you have seen this not called, whether you're a QB or not. I remember Patrick Mahomes got hit when he had 2 feet in bounds near the boundary, and they called that hitting out of bounds. I've seen people clearly get hit out of bounds and then not be called. It's really up to the officiating crew. It's really up to the refs. So I use the term gray area because that's something that the ref could call one way or the other, because they are right there on the field and they're going to judge whether the defender was trying to let up or not. So this is a gray area. There was that hit. So here's my initial video. Here I mentioned he could have just hopped right over. It's things that he could have done to not even give the ref a chance to call this. And I mentioned this in the last video. Once again, if you've watched hits on QBs in a slide, like highlight videos of it on YouTube because you're a sicko, which I have done, that would likely not even make it in the video. Like, that is not what hitting a QB on purpose while he's sliding looks like. Yet they called that gray area. Once again, you could call it, you could not call it. He technically glanced his helmet onto his helmet. So the ref could call that if they feel like it, if they're so inclined, aka gray area. The Justin Fields one, gray area, because the tackle on Fields was initiated inbounds, but did he do too much out of bounds? Like, was he not trying to let up when they were both clearly out of bounds? Was he simply finishing the tackle, or was he adding a little extra to it when he threw him over his body, like tripping him over his body? Open to interpretation, up to the refs. Both gray area. My whole shtick was, why call it on one side but not for the other? It was the even playing ground, which was my point. So I hope that makes sense. I already answered this person directly, so nobody else got to pile in on them. Judging from the name, it looks like they're just a fan of a division rival, so there's going to be a little extra sauce when you see content creators from the other side, whatever. So maybe he was saying some things as if I was a schmuck, adding the extras on it, not knowing me as a person. Because if this guy knew me as a person, if we were friends, he would know I call it how it is. Like, if we messed up, we messed up. I call it how it is. If the other team's playing better, I call it how it is. If we poop the bed in a game against a division rival, I call it how it is. Matter of fact, I started that last video that I'm referencing congratulating the Dolphins for beating us, because a win feels good no matter who. Because I was a football player. I wasn't a player for the Jets. I wasn't a player for the Dolphins. I wasn't a player for any of these teams yet. So I don't have some deeply seated allegiance to where I'm just going to root for one and not for the other, aka tribalism. I hate tribalism. I feel like you should call it how it is. If you really for your group, to the point where when your group does something wrong and you can't call them out on it, that is toxic. That is not helpful to society. So I call this shit how it is. So if you watch that last video, everything we were stupid on, I said that was stupid. The shit that was gray area, I said it was gray area. The shit that was egregious, like the Garrett Wilson touchdown, I call that out. I just call things how it is. But this person saying that I'm crying and whatever, clearly it's just some extra sauce that he accumulated from his previous experiences he's bringing into this one. It happens, we all do it. I grew up in New York. When people step to you a certain way, you respond a certain way. So I'm human, so I responded in that manner as respectfully as I could. I'm flawed, this dude flawed, like we all flawed, so it's all good on the personal tip as far as people being allowed to be people. But just in case more people were missing the point of it not being a level playing field with how the refs are calling it for both teams evenly, that was the main takeaway. It wasn't, oh, this gray area shit, it should have gone to us. It wasn't about trying to get every call as much as possible. I just want football players to play football and the refs just be there to keep things within bounds as best as possible for the game, not for a team, but for the whole game, for everyone involved. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.